What is the Rosary? And how do you pray it? Welcome to All That Catholic Stuff. I'm Chris Bray. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the Rosary is, how to pray it, and why we might want to consider adopting this as a regular practice for our spiritual development. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and click the bell to be notified when I post new videos. So what is the Rosary? The Rosary is a specific discipline of prayer and meditation. The tangible Rosary itself is made up of 59 beads in total. The 3rd century Christian hermits and monks known as the Desert Fathers used to use stones and later prayer ropes as a way of keeping track of praying the 150 Psalms. This is a practice that we adopted from our Jewish heritage. There have been many variations of the Rosary across history, including the Jesus Prayer, the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, as well as praying and meditating on the Psalms. It's widely believed in 1214 that St. Dominic had a vision where Mary herself appeared to him and gave him the beads of the Rosary and the prayers to pray. Usually when you begin to pray the Rosary, you start with the Apostles' Creed. You pray an Our Father, 3 Hail Marys, and a Glory Be. You'll notice that the Rosary has 5 different sections. These are called decades. Each decade of the Rosary begins with an Our Father, followed by 10 Hail Marys, ending with a Glory Be and the O My Jesus prayer. And since there are 5 decades of the Rosary, you end up praying about 50 plus Hail Marys. So what you typically do is you follow the Rosary around the loop, and each decade you meditate on one of the mysteries. For example, the joyful mysteries, which include the Annunciation, the Visitation, the birth of Jesus, the presentation and the finding of Jesus in the temple. Or the sorrowful mysteries, for example, which include the agony in the garden, the scourging at the pillar, the crowning of thorns, the carrying of the cross, and the crucifixion. There's also the glorious mysteries, and in 2002, St. John Paul II added the luminous mysteries. So just like how people would pray and meditate on the 150 Psalms found in the scriptures, we also can use the Rosary to pray and meditate on the significant events found in Scripture in Jesus' life. This helps us to deepen our understanding and appreciation for our faith. Now, many Christians who aren't familiar with this particular practice might find concern with the repetitive nature of this practice. But the analogy that I like to use is alongside fitness. Perhaps we have a goal of wanting to grow stronger. And so what we do is we devote ourselves to waking up every day and going to a gym and using the tools and the resources there, like the free weights and the machines, in a repetitious manner so that we can grow stronger physically. It's kind of like using sets and reps in a workout. Like, for example, maybe you want to work out your biceps, right? And so you might devote yourself to 5 sets of 10 reps of doing bicep curls. And when you do that repetitively, when you devote yourself to this regular habit and this practice, that's when you see yourself becoming stronger and growing physically. And in a similar way, we see that this practice that was developed early on in Christianity and taken from our Jewish heritage was meant to strengthen us spiritually as well. If we want to grow in our faith and in our understanding and our depth and appreciation for it, then it requires dedication, just like waking up every day and going to the gym to work out. It requires repetition, just like we would do sets and reps when we're bodybuilding, and it requires our effort. The tangible Rosary itself is just simply a tool, just like a dumbbell or a machine is a tool in a gym, to help strengthen us spiritually. The Jews, Jesus, and the disciples would meditate and pray on the scriptures quite regularly. This was a regular and normative practice for the Jews and the early Christians because repetition helps build our strength and our endurance. The simplicity of praying a repetitious prayer frees our minds to be able to meditate on those spiritual realities. We see a lot of this practiced in modern Christianity today, whether it's praying a prescribed prayer or in something like contemporary praise and worship music where there's a repetitive chorus that is sung over again. We see that this helps for us to meditate and to pray on the spiritual realities that are before us. But some might suggest, well, there's too much emphasis on Mary when we're praying the Rosary. Isn't it not supposed to be about her? It's supposed to be about Jesus. The Rosary isn't so much about Mary. Rather, it's about Mary pointing us towards Jesus. After all, almost the entire Rosary is praying and meditating on the words of Scripture. The Lord's Prayer, the Glory Be, and even almost the entire Hail Mary are all taken directly from Scripture, almost verbatim. Mary is like the moon, and she simply reflects the light of the sun. She points us towards Jesus and to his redemption and to his glory. Just like her words at the wedding feast at Cana, she says, do whatever he tells you to do. When she appealed to Jesus, in a sense, she was interceding on behalf of the guests of the wedding. And in a similar way, she's interceding on our behalf as well, just like you would ask a friend to pray and to intercede for you. In a similar way, just like when we start a new fitness regime, praying the rosary might feel strange and weird and awkward and uncomfortable, and that's okay. But the more that we practice this, and the more that we adopt this as a regular spiritual devotion in our lives, the more natural it will feel, and the more quickly we will see the spiritual benefits in our lives. How has praying the rosary enhanced your spiritual life? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and click the bell to be notified when I post new videos. Lastly, I'd love for you to consider supporting my ministry on Patreon. You get access to my talks, my music, and faith resources. You get all the details when you go to patreon.com/Chris Bray. Thanks so much and God bless.
Wash over me, God, take this heart, transform it.